Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and it is the Nerdrotic Nooner for Hump Day. What is up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I still love Wednesday. Wednesday is New Comic Book Day around the world. Well, at least in America. I don't know about you guys in Europe, to be honest with you. I think you guys get it the next day. But here in America, it's New Comic Book Day. And around this time of year, it is just a great place to be in a comic shop. It's a great place. It's a fun place to be. Definitely go check it out. They're the best places to go to buy gifts for people you love or even people you hate. You want to turn an enemy into a friend, you go to a comic book shop and you buy them a good comic book. Probably not something new by Marvel, but some old stuff, and you'll make a friend. How is everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Action figure expert, what's up? Andre Merrick, how are you? Plays with squirrels. That must be fun. Are they trained? I don't know. Halam899 watching for the first time live. Mary Ashmead, how's it going? Oh boy, of course my alarm goes off right there. And then Matt Guy, Brent Newman. Who else is there? Cato Roan. The wrenches are here. How's it going? Matt Guy and Travis. Hello, Travis. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. And we'll let some people roll in. And today, well, there's not a ton of news. I haven't talked about Smiling Spock yet, and I'll get into that. And it really relates into the Star Trek Discovery Blu-ray special features, which I have now watched twice, and I don't think I'll ever be the same. I've called my sponsor. I've set up, I'm going to do some therapy later this week. I went to the gym. I punched my punching bag for about an hour to the theme of Rocky, and it still hasn't helped. I'm probably going to have to watch the entire first season and one sitting of the original series to cleanse my palate of that stuff. But it actually was very enlightening, as I've said on Monday's stream, especially watching it the second time around. And the most interesting things are what's left out. What is the omissions are the most important part of that, I think. So, yeah, and of course, we can continue talking about Doctor Who. It's a big subject around here of late. And yes, our subscriber count's going up, and we're very happy about that. We're very grateful. Just glad to be here. And, I love doing the live streams. These are my favorite part of the channel. I've been coming out with more edited videos while I used to do that for a living. Actually, I used to edit for a living, even though there's a major mistake towards the end of my the last one I put out. Well, it's not, I missed a frame. You can see a frame drop, and you can see my background instead of my little flying through space background. I was like, God damn it. And that's what happens when the family's back home. So there's no way in hell I get 10 minutes of uninterrupted time at any moment in this house. So I have to, when you edit a video, you have to watch it multiple times. That's why I hate watching them after they hit the air, but you have to watch it, at least 9 or 10 times after it's done to make sure everything's okay. And I couldn't watch it all the way through in one sitting, and I freaking missed something. So, oh well. Hello, Howard Bandy. How are you? CD Horde, what is up? It's just bad fiction, Gary. Relax. Take a breath. I definitely relax. The Doctor, you should join the Who fan Ian Amino. I would love to see your stuff shared on it. Just join the Who Ian Animo. What is that? The Doctor? Whovian. The Whovian. Okay, gotcha. I consider myself a Whovian. Is it what is it? A group or something? You should join the Whovian. I would love to see your stuff shared on it. Yeah. Is it like a Facebook group or something? Sure. Point me in the direction. And what's up, official Dougie J? The official Dougie J sent me some music. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. What do you reckon is the next series to get ruined? Well, I think the major IPs or the big IPs, Star Trek and Star Wars being the biggest, in my opinion, already ruined. Doctor Who's right up there, ruined. I'm trying to think of something that's that old, that has that much history. I think they've kind of gone through it. It'd be just little stuff. They could probably come back and screw up Battlestar Galactica. We got 2 good Galacticas. I'm sure that they'd they'll feel that like the last one wasn't inclusive enough, and if you go back and watch Battlestar Galactica, I was thinking about this morning. It's everything that some of these shows claim to be a decade ago. So just to show you that this is all bullshit. Yeah, Battlestar Galactica is, oh man, I've just been in a mood to rewatch it. I don't have time though. I don't have time. Well, Harry Potter, yeah, J.K. Rowling is doing that herself. She's been doing that for years now. Yeah, could you imagine J.R.R. Tolkien doing this stuff if J.R.R. Tolkien was on Twitter and he just kept on changing shit, which I'm sure he did in private. That's why, I'm thankful that, we didn't get to see that, and it remains pure. Gary, have you seen the American attempt at Doctor Who? Found it on Hulu. Would it be on YouTube? I have seen it. It is available. I actually own it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It says it takes place in San Francisco. It wasn't shot in San Francisco. But Paul McGann, my feelings on Paul McGann is, I think as far as just the pure look of Doctor Who, if you think of Doctor Who, what's his real face? I think it's Paul McGann. I like that costume. I think it's just everything, for all the doctors, up until Capaldi, represented purely as just the Doctor. I think he had the look down. I do like his look a little better, that the updated one from the little prequel they did during the 50th anniversary, which was brilliant. And his audio adventures are great. There's a Time War one out I haven't got that. Although I don't know the premise of it, but I don't know how he fought in the Time War, because there was the War Doctor. But prior to the War Doctor, I had always assumed it was the 8th Doctor who fought in most of the Time War. Paul McGann is brilliant. Carolina Jones. Yes, I totally agree. I mean, he's a great actor. He's a perfect Doctor. And yeah, take it. I don't understand why you can't do past Doctor adventures, do a mini series, do a movie, do something. Take my money if you do something with Paul McGann, and I think it would just be a giant hit. People love that guy. I really like McGann. He deserves one full season before he gets too old. I totally agree. I think they're just so damn worried about taking attention away from who's the current Doctor. It wouldn't do that. Well, it might do it now, to be honest with you. If Paul McGann came back, it would be a bigger hit than what's going on right now. And honestly, it would bring a lot of Who fans back, a lot of Who fans who are gone. And that's good. That was kind of one of my questions is, are you even still watching this anymore? Because what I noticed with Star Trek Discovery was, after, people gave it, of course, there was the people who were going to hate it no matter what. And then there's the people who, I'm going to watch it and give it a chance, which honestly, I think was most people. That's what we did. And it was around the 4th or 5th episode where you started getting a picture of like, oh, this is just utter crap. Is the same thing happening with you with Doctor Who? It looks that way, because honestly, the chat that we're getting for the live recaps is a lot different from the first 4 weeks. A lot of people were, defending and like, oh, let's, it's okay so far. It's all right. Let's see what happens. Let's get its legs under it. But after Arachnids in the UK, people were like, that's it. Nuh-uh. And it became really clear that's what we were going to get. Same with Star Trek Discovery. The butcher's knife knows not of the lamb's cry, or whatever the frack that episode's name was. That's the episode that our view count jumped up. The chat got way more salty, we'll say. I'll have to say that the Star Trek chat for the recaps was really salty all season. People were going at each other, and it was crazy. And that's going to ramp right back up again once it starts. Believe me, it's you think there's a lot of Star Trek stuff now. It is quiet. Once that show starts up again, it's gonna fire people up. It's gonna be just like Star Wars. Probably not as big, because Star Trek unfortunately is not as big as Star Wars, but this is not helping it. I wish it were. honestly, I'm way more into Star Trek nowadays than I am into Star Wars. So, pumpkins for everyone, extra pumpkins. Yes, so that's our logo. Yeah, everything about this channel, it was a happy accident. Ken Jack Ben. The original logo background was supposed to be blue because that's my favorite color. And it's the same blue, it's the blue from the Chargers throwback uniforms. That's how I color pretty much everything except my comic store. My comic store was done in 4 colors, and it was red from Spider-Man's costume, yellow from Thor's hair, blue from Captain America's costume, and it was was it green? I'm trying to think now. Yeah, it was green from Hulk's skin. I hope you're doing. Are you doing better, Mary? I've noticed you're not as many chats, so I hope you're feeling better. Gary, will you find out the name? Gary, will you find out the name so you can check out later? For now, we don't need Star Wars. Now we have Guardians of the Galaxy. Straight up agreed. Hopefully it continues. At the Mr. Roboto said that. I could not agree more. And that's exactly what I was thinking when I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, this is Star Wars. This is how it's supposed to be. This is fun science fiction. This is everything I love wrapped up in a superhero movie. I was like, God damn. I freaking love it. The music was good. It was fun. Decent villain. Enough comedy, but I mean, it was serious enough. Guardians is almost a perfect movie to me. I know some people don't like it. I love it. Not the original Gray Hulk, no, CD Horde. No. I'm a 4 color guy. Yeah. So, a Green Lantern. I'm a Marvel guy. That's how I started as a Marvel guy. I'm way more into DC comic wise now. Though currently I would consider myself a DC fan over a Marvel fan. I've always liked them both, but I just started out with Marvel comics, and the answer was simple. When I was a kid, Marvel comics were cheaper than DC comics. So DC comics were like 40, 50 cents. Marvels were, when I started buying comics, it had the still only 25 cents. And God, does that make me sound freaking old. 1974 or 5 is when I got my mom bought me my first comic. Guardians 1 is good. I can't watch it too many times. Guardians 2 is it leaned into the comedy a bit too much. Guardians, yeah, Bryce Douglas. Guardians 2 is not as good as Guardians 1, but I do enjoy it. A little disappointed with how Ego turned out at the end, but I don't know. I'm like, I didn't like the fact that he was just so emotionally distraught. You think, an Eternal would just be a little more confident. I don't know. I just didn't have the, I mean, he could still be evil and lonely, but, I don't think he would. I mean, this Eternal that's lived billions of years is, crying because he's alone. My first comics were about 1972, 14 bits. Yeah, that's before me. That's a good era. That is a great era. Oh my God. All the 70s are, that's the only comics I kept for my personal collection. I pretty much put everything up for sale. I have some runs I really love, but my favorite comics are Marvel Premiere from the 70s. Those are my absolute favorite comics. That Marvel Premiere run that introduced like Deathlock and Satana, Son of Satan. That's just good shit. Mary Poppins, y'all. Dan, I almost said dildo. Dan Didio is running DC Comics. Ken Jack Ben has been for quite some time, and I am not a fan of his. Never have been. I think sometimes it does well despite him, but I used to really not like him. I've kind of softened on that since then. My first comic was 1964, CD Horde. Youngster. What's up, Mako? How's it going? The Filthy Farmer. How are you doing today, Filthy Farmer? I'm doing great. I am doing great. Just chilling on a Wednesday. I have a ton to do around the house, but I always make time for my friends on YouTube. Plus, I'm currently making 2 videos. So one's supposed to be out tonight, but I don't know. And one's coming out tomorrow. And then pretty soon we're going to get back to covering lots and lots of television. It starts out slowly in December, and then January, it goes up till I think we're covering 9 TV shows. So I'm looking forward to that. We are going to do. I know I had it briefly scheduled. I didn't cover the end of the Manifested a mid-season break. I'll probably do the season finale review of that. And Gifted, I'm just going to do the finale review. That's all I can handle on that one. But when I see Gifted, or I try to watch a CW show and stuff, it makes me appreciate Titans a little more, even though Titans has many problems. We had Firefly, we have Guardians, we have The Expanse, and we had Farscape, Mr. Roboto. And apparently Blake 7 is the one that started it all with the ship, with like the whole family dynamic on a ship. But yeah, we have The Expanse. I went to The Expanse website today to see if they, I don't know, has anybody cast Murtry? Have they cast Murtry yet? I saw some casting, but it's just for extras. That tells you something about a tight ship. The Expanse is a tight ship, for lack of a better term. You hear zero drama from that show. You hear nothing. The only theorizing is from the actual plot. And that's actually what I like about a show. I like shows that are mysteries. That's what we lean towards. What Taboo, Mr. Robot, Game of Thrones, Westworld when it's good. I love shows that have an overarching story, that do world building, that have mysteries, and you can go to Reddit and talk about the theories. I spend a stupid amount of time reading Game of Thrones and Song of Ice and Fire theories. And it's not even something I do for the channel. It's just kind of what I do for fun. And I love that kind of stuff. That's what Doctor Who is missing. Even in the early days of Moffat, there was a lot of fun theories, like Rory is the master, which I totally think they should have done. That would have been fucking brilliant if Rory was the master. And I think they were actually hinting to it, and they were going to do that, and they did some weird course correction. And that's a video for another day. I've been doing some research on that, like what happened to Moffat, because it's really been kind of bugging me. Because he's the same guy who did Blink, did Twice Upon a Time, and it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. And it could be, I just don't care anymore. I think something happened to make him not care anymore, because I know he gets blasted and he deserves it. I mean, he's the king of the red herring and really dropped the ball. And as much shit as we give Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker, it was Stephen Moffat who brought us here. So, fun fact, the showrunner of Castlevania is Adi Shankar. So 2 Shankars are making fantastic television. Are they related, Mako? I mean, forgive me for sounding ignorant on that. I don't know. I know Naren Shankar is running The Expanse, and Adi Shankar is running Castlevania, and both shows have the Nerdrotic seal of approval, which means me and Dennis love them. I will, and we don't just pass that out to everybody. Castlevania, folks, is really good. Really good. Now, I am a Warren Ellis fan. If you're not into Warren Ellis, then you're not going to be into Castlevania. You got to be into kind of his writing. Yeah, he's very sarcastic, and but he's funny too. He is funny. I'm not sure. I mean, that's a pretty common last name, so it's like asking if 2 people are Smith are related. Rick Grimes is cast as Cybok in STD2. Oh my God. Surf Trektronics. Yeah. Spock. No, you're trying to do like Coral Spock. Oh my God. Smiling Spock. Well, it's more like smirking Spock. Spock has Spock has smiled before, but for them to roll out a trailer and the first words you hear out of Spock are responding to yes if somebody asks if he's smiling, tells you exactly the showrunners of the multiple, the revolving door of showrunners that run Star Trek Discovery and Alex Kurtzman think about it. And this is going to go into my review of the Star Trek Discovery special features, but I'll give you a little spoiler. They had a very cavalier approach to canon. I know it's obvious and but they come out and say it. They basically come out and say it. And what I heard at least 4 people say in these 2-hour special features, variation of wording, but essentially they said, we picked up like a tricorder. So we saw the tricorder. We had to reverse engineer what has already been done. And then when we did that, we checked it with canon, and then we decided, but I really want to make something cool. That gets said 4 times. So basically what they're saying is, yeah, we looked at canon and that stuff was really old and shitty looking, so we're going to make something cool. And you see that the people who were responsible for the props, for the costuming and everything were not supervised at all. They were allowed to do whatever the hell they wanted. Now, you can't really blame the costume designers and stuff for that, because if I was an artist and I was given completely free reign, I would go nuts, especially if I wasn't particularly a fan of the show. I would think, well, this needs to be cooler. The whole point is the tricorder from the original series is fucking cool. The basic design is completely fucking cool. There is nothing cooler that some dude with 89 piercings and, spiked hair with a receding hairline and wearing all black, and he has a bunch of new ink, the guy's talented. He's totally talented, but you could tell he didn't talk about Star Trek a lot. He talked about, they gave a lot of lip service for canon, but not a lot of people talked about their love of Star Trek. And, a lot of people said they were scared. They came out and said, oh, I'm really scared about this and I'm intimidated. Doug Jones seemed to be the only person who took anything seriously. With Doug Jones casting, they did a special feature on casting, and then they talked about 2 people. Doug, of course, Sonequa Martin Green, and then about 2 minutes of Doug Jones, and nothing else. With Doug Jones casting with Saru was supposed to be like CG and have multiple eyes, and they realized it couldn't work. And then they said, oh, we just let Doug create the character. That's another thing that gets said a lot, is you could tell that the production was completely rushed, because they had to probably change it multiple times. And they have one set designer talking about, well, originally we had 10 days and now we have 2 hours to fix something. So he said the traditional approach goes out the window at that point, and you just got to make something cool. Heard that a lot. So yeah, I'll wrap it into my theory, but it just, what it basically says is these people didn't give 2 shits about canon. Never did. So whatever they're coming out and saying to you guys is total BS. And you know that. It's nice to hear him confirm it, though. And Alex Kurtzman, in a quote, which I'll save for the video, confirms it. Absolutely confirms it. Somebody should have really checked the editing on the special features. And they also interviewed the showrunners that got fired. They're in the whole damn thing. It's just funny. And yeah, they interviewed a bunch of people who don't work on the show anymore, who left, which is also funny. What time is the Exozone Saturday? Asks Lee Crystal 1. I do not know. I would imagine our last one was at, I would say 8 or 9 my time. It's definitely a late night affair. So I would say 8, 9 my time, whatever works for Doomcock. So when he announces a time, we'll know for sure. But yeah, it's going to be, I would say between 8 and 9 Pacific would be my guess. Steele Johnson, it's this Saturday. I put it on a schedule. I got the okay from Doomcock to put it on the schedule. Have not heard a time yet. I think he might be working on some art for it. If not, I can. I did a little fun thing. I'll show you guys. This is just fun, though. This is an official Exozone art. Okay. Well, because I didn't this is just a picture I took. If I'm going to do my own art, it would be a year, because I'm really slow. But I could do something. But Doomcock is also an artist. is a big time artist. So I'm sure he's coming up with something. We have not chatted about it, to be honest. But we do have Woo Woo Wednesday today. I got something very woo woo for later, guys. We are going to talk a little bit about Article 13. I'm basically going to read you an article. There's no easy way to sum it up, so I'm going to later on in the broadcast, when you want to take a break and go to the bathroom or something, I'm going to read the Article 13 explained. And let's get to this exozone. So if people do not know, if you're new to the exozone, I do have to give a disclaimer for the exozone that it is a woo-woo show. So what I mean by a woo-woo show is, oh, what the hell? Why aren't you? So we cover like UFOs, conspiracies, ancient civilizations, pretty much anything you would see on In Search Of or listen to on Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. Doomcock and I share a passion for this stuff, a lifelong passion. I have been into this for years and years and years and years. I have read hundreds of books, listened to thousands of hours of Coast to Coast. I did not miss a show for like 10 years straight. So yeah, it's just fun to talk about, but there's a lot of people who don't like, so they come here for pop culture, and that's why you subscribe. So we do that show once in a while. We don't mean to offend anybody, and we don't state anything as fact. It's just kind of fun to talk about, have an open mind. But if it's stuff you really, really hate, then I recommend then just miss it, because I don't want to piss you off, and that's not our intent. It's just Doomcock and I having fun. And we don't take, while I do take some of these subjects very seriously, I don't expect you to. So, and you can totally disagree, and that's fine. Disagreement is good. And I stretched that long enough, right? And I'll get right back to the chat. Now, again, this is not official art. This is just something I did for fun. I was talking to my patrons about this. This is from the Time Life book series, Ancient Mysteries or something like that. And this is a picture from the Black School. You guys remember Time Life book series? They used to do UFO stuff, and it was back in the 80s and 90s, and you'd get a book every couple months and stuff like that. I have tons of those. I love those. So yeah, we're going to share this. God damn. And sorry, folks. Yeah, I got to keep my phone on because I have a kid in school. So I can't, like, it'd be not very so yeah, that's just a little fun I was having. I think Doomcock will come up with something much better than that this is from the Black School. So yeah, the Black School. The exozone. There's no what's the DS9 thing from the special features? There is no mention of DS9. Oh wait, no, there's one mention of DS9 Destiny Captain. And it's only when they were talking about diversity and inclusion. Believe me, so the special features included the casting, which was casting 2 people. There was 3 on costuming, props, and makeup. There was only 1 that talked about the whole season. They focused mainly on the first 2 episodes. They interviewed Sonequa Martin Green and briefly Doug Jones. There's a little bit of Chris Isaacs, a little bit of everybody else, but again, they don't talk about the later episodes much at all. And there is an entire segment on the strong women of Star Trek, and really insulting the old audiences in a lot of ways. Star Trek being, at least they have mentioned that Star Trek was, really groundbreaking on every level and continues to be. And it's not something that needs to be talked about constantly. Yeah, Jason Isaacs, man. Jason freaking Isaacs. His only interview was anytime I hear an actor, and I said this on previous, anytime I hear an actor, a successful actor, talk about in these hard socioeconomic times, I'm like, really, Jason Isaacs? What hard socioeconomic times are you having right now? Maybe when you were a kid before you were an actor, maybe you experienced that. That's cool. But as far as where I live in this country, it's not perfect. There is lots of poor people, but the times have been worse, man. Wish my grandpa would tell you about the Depression. That was some fucking hard times. Yeah, I said Chris Isaacs instead of Jason Isaacs, and I wish it was Chris Isaacs. I really do, because I like Chris Isaacs. I do not use OBS for my streams. I know how to use OBS. The reason I don't use OBS, I don't like to share insider information. I don't use OBS. It's fun. It's fun to do like production value and stuff like that. And I'm really into that stuff. But I just choose not to use it. Also, it's like Hangouts is simpler. It works directly with YouTube. And there's less problems. There's always some kind of weird hiccup or something with OBS. Yes, you're allowed to do more stuff. Truth of the matter, though, is they're going to be updating this. YouTube is going to be updating this and allow you to do more stuff. The only reason they haven't is honestly Article 13 is OBS. I'm surprised YouTube still lets people use OBS because it presents a lot of problems. Jason Isaacs is completely woke. I should try it for Twitch. Yeah, I heard it's better for Twitch. I was thinking about doing something. I got to focus on this. I've got so many. I just started a Discord that I don't pay attention to, which I really should because I can get me in trouble. But eventually, yeah, we'll branch out probably. But I like to keep everything on one channel. I know that's not the greatest thing for the algorithm. That's what I hear. I don't necessarily believe that, to be honest with you. I think you grow when you grow, and that's it. And it doesn't matter when you drop a video. My two most watched videos were dropped at 11 o'clock at night. So I don't know. Once I think I figure it out, it does something silly. What they don't like is you clicking on your own videos, you buying subscribers, you buying views, which a lot of people do. They definitely do, and they don't like you linking off site in the description. That is what I heard somebody from YouTube tell me. So that's straight from the horse's mouth. They don't like that stuff. They don't like linking off site. Now, but a lot of people do it and it doesn't affect their videos. So I don't know. They could just simply just not like it and not do anything about it. One-stop shop. Yeah, that's where I keep it. Keep it simple. As we say in the program, keep it simple, stupid. Live stream Spider-Man PS4. You wouldn't want to see me live stream a game, my friend. You would laugh. Well, it would probably be the funniest thing you've ever seen because you're like, man, this guy is bad. Like, I've never seen somebody this bad at a video game. That is me. Playing video game, it's a talent. It really is a talent. It's one I do not have. I can play bass. I can draw. I can work on cars. There's a lot of shit I know how to do. Playing video games is not one of them. I can play pinball, though. Is YouTube getting banned in the EU? Mr. D for Vid XD? Not by the EU. YouTube might ban themselves from the EU. That's they're going to be put in a position that's impossible. The EU is doing something to suppress information. They found a backdoor way to suppress information because the EU, in some weird way, I don't talk about politics. We're just going to say that some of the certain something that happened in England. The EU, I think, blames social media for that. Governments as a whole don't like us talking to each other because governments like to control the information. Unfortunately, in a free society, that's harder and harder to do. So what you do is you make it a less free society. That's why we come up with terms with hate speech. Now, hate speech is something I have been accused of for not liking Star Trek Discovery. Somebody I actually asked, it was SC, and I asked SC, I'm like, so do you think what I do is hate speech? And what I do is hate speech. And I think, yes, constantly complaining about a TV show is hate speech. Well, it's not. Okay. Hate speech is too vague of a term, but now it's something they can actually litigate, and they do over in the EU, which is scary as fuck and makes me glad I'm here. So they want to keep us from talking to each other because then we become easier to control. And the more we talk to each other, we find out, hey, and no, I don't want to talk about politics, but I bet you everybody in the chat right now comes from all walks of life. And guess what? We're all coming together on not liking Star Trek or loving Counterpart or loving The Expanse or Farscape. And that's the one thing I noticed in my shop. And it was all broken down to one day I was in my shop and it was like 5 years in. We were having a party and I watched Melissa's dad, straight up Trump supporting Republican, and my friend Bill Selby, who is straight up lefty pants, and they were in there talking about comic books, yucking it up, having the best time. They're like, man, I really like that guy. And they like became buds. And I'm like, just don't ever talk about politics and everything's cool. And that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of, we realize, I know this sounds really kumbaya and hippie, and believe me, I'm no fucking hippie, is we have way more in common than things we disagree on. And, keeping people divided is it's a lot easier to keep us controlled. Article 13 is a step in that direction. And sure, parts of it sound like they make total sense. It makes all the sense in the world. It's just protecting copyrighted material. But how we're going to go about policing it is banning everything. Well, and they need to adjust their fair use laws. And somebody needs to get to the companies and realize most of us, and I mean the vast majority of us, talk positively about your shows and your comic books and your books and everything. Yeah, you're gonna have to open yourself up to some criticism. You can't put the genie back in the bottle on that one. And I think once a company figures that out and has a little sense of humor about itself and goes, once in a while, maybe not right away, but after a few years go, yep, our show sucked. Sorry, we'll do another one. It would just have nothing but fans. There would be nothing to attack at that point. You diffuse the whole fucking thing, but trying to fight it and make yourself look perfect all the time is impossible in the current age. It's absolutely impossible. So, Americans have always bonded over their love of pop culture as part of who we are. Exactly. It's part of our culture. We do have a culture. Yeah, 1984. Exactly, James. At least they still have kids reading that book in school because my kid read the book. So, he read that Brave New World and all the stuff you're supposed to read. And then after he read 1984, I let him read Watchmen, and he just read last night. Logan read God Loves Man Kills from the greatest X-Men single story ever told, and he was blown away. He's like, "Whoa!" I'm all, "Yeah, that's one of the comics that made me." Yes, Nicholas Glenn, Exozone this Saturday night. Time to be announced. Thank you for the super chat, $1.99. I appreciate that. Keeps the lights on. Yes, we love super chats, but they are not required. We try to read all your chat no matter what. So thank you, Nicholas Glenn. I greatly appreciate that. Yes, my friend, this Saturday. Oh man, I'm Brent Newman. I miss a tube sponsored by Pete's. Brent Newman, thank you for the £2. I really God, okay. I've got my window up. Man, I've been bad about that. I apologize, Brent Newman. Also, this creator for SpongeBob died. That sucked. He had ALS. He was 57, so he was only 8 years older than me. Poor guy. So R.I.P. Yeah, let me get the article up. I know it's kind of a bummer, but we lost Stan Lee, and I listen. SpongeBob has a place in my heart. Steven Hillenburg. Sorry, I was completely blanking on his name, and that's totally disrespectful. But I have two boys, all right, and they're 10 years apart. So I got two good runs in of watching like every SpongeBob thing with my kids. And SpongeBob in the early days was it was made for adults too. It was brilliant. And yeah, Steven Hillenburg, the creator of the mega hit Nickelodeon cartoon series SpongeBob SquarePants, died Monday. He was 57. The cause of death was ALS, which Hillenburg revealed that he was diagnosed with in March of last year. Man, it got him fast. We are incredibly saddened by the news of Steven Hillenburg has passed away following his battle with ALS, says Nickelodeon. He was a beloved friend and a longtime creative partner to everyone at Nickelodeon, and our hearts go out to his entire family. Steve imbued SpongeBob SquarePants with a unique sense of humor and an innocence that has brought joy to generations of kids and families everywhere. His utterly original characters and the world of Bikini Bottom will long stand as a reminder of the value of optimism, friendship, and limitless power of imagination. Well said. The beautiful thing about SpongeBob is it's the optimism in it, the eternal optimism of SpongeBob himself, and just the weird characters. Clancy Brown as Mr. Krabs. The SpongeBob movie, the first one. We went as a group from the comic store, so it was a bunch of the customers and friends and the whole staff. We all went to the movie, laughed our asses off. It was so goddamn funny. That's one of my favorite nights from owning a comic shop, and that's just a bummer, man. I don't mean to make people sad, but we need to remember like a creative giant. So Patrick is smart. Don't you dare say anything bad about Patrick. And I won't do my voices. I do pretty good SpongeBob voices. I do decent cartoon voices, but I'm really bad at imitation or, I could do a Darth Vader too, but I won't, believe me. Who lives in pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob Square. Oh my God. When the freaking pirates started singing it in the beginning of the movie, Christ, I was laughing my ass off. I almost peed. Yeah. And the whole Goofy Goober and getting drunk on the ice cream and goddamn. My favorite episode of SpongeBob is Band Geeks. I like the hash slinging slasher. Doomcock does the best Hank Hill voice. Yeah, there's a while I actually thought he was Mike Judge. He still might be, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know, but you know what? I don't ever want to know who Doomcock is. Does that sound weird? I just don't want to know. I like the mystery. I like that part of the whole thing. I don't think we should ever find out. I mean, it's rough to do a YouTube channel like that, but he's ready to go. He's got the talent too. You got to have the talent, and he definitely has it. Like even Mr. Plinkett, they had to come out from behind there and do. But you know what? I only Red Letter Media is like I'm not. They're okay. They're okay. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, what's up? I know you complain the hell about. I know I complain like hell about my condition, but I have huge sympathy for those with ALS. Hell of a lot worse. Hey, Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, you don't complain that much here, and we hope you feel better. It's all good, man. This is a place where you can come and talk. It's all good. I know that there is. We've had. Sometimes we, give you guys an opportunity to not think about stuff while you're, we got Mary going through stuff, and there's a lot of you guys out there, and my heart goes out to you. Natalie England, hey, how's it going? Hey, your name made it on the Patreon video, but I'm always thinking about you guys. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, and Mary Ashmead, and always thinking about you guys. Nicholas Glenn sent another super chat. You did. Thank you. Oh, we got a couple more, and my camera's blocking them. Hang on. Nicholas Glenn, you watched The Theory of Everything by Trey Smith yet? I have not. God damn it, Nicholas Glenn. I suck. I will do that right after the show. Damn it. It's on my favorites list too. And dude, I got the attention span of a gnat sometimes. I'm sorry. But thank you for the $1.99. I will watch it and report on it on the Exozone. Tell you what I thought. We got a lot coming up with the Exozone. So, and remember, Wednesday Woo Woo. We'll do Wednesday Woo Woo in about a half an hour. Just popping by to say hi, nerd. Work busy, gotta go. Movie Fanobi, $1.99. Thank you for the super chat, Movie Fanobi. And I guess the word is out there, so I've been kind of waiting to announce this, but I am very proud of this. This is like one of the one of the best parts of having the channel. This is my favorite story. So Viking Bitch, you all know Viking Bitch, sculpted leather art by Viking Bitch. She sent us the spoiler paddle. She made this. She's an amazing artist. She has her own channel. Please check it out. Well, she was in the chat with another guy named Movie Finobi. You might know him. He's got a wrench. He's always got some little freaking snarky remark, but he's actually kind of the funniest person. One of the funniest people in our group. He lightens it up every day, and he's fucking amazing. And so is Viking Bitch. Well, those two kids are dating now, and they met in our chat. Love. People found love at the Nerdrotic channel. I mean, I almost could close it shop and go, I'm done. That's that's all I needed to do. Bringing people together. That's what we do. Was I just not talking about bringing people together? So I don't know how many other channels can say that, but I'm freaking proud of that. So, I hope those kids, I hope it works out. Well, it's got to now. No pressure. But love you guys. And yeah, that's fucking cool as hell. Eric Gary, love the channel. What do you think we as fans of sci-fi shows can do to save such shows as Doctor Who and Star Trek? Says Daniel. Is it Gaseous or Gaseous or Gaseous? Tell me how to pronounce that last name, Daniel. What do I think we can do? Not buy it. That's the only thing you can do is not buy it. The love guru. Mako. Yeah, Daniel, it sucks. I mean, I am just as guilty as anybody else of buying stuff like way too long when it's like really bad. Even with last season with Capaldi, there was parts of it I thought I enjoyed. I went back and watched it again. It's awful. I couldn't even finish the episodes. So simply not buy it. Air your grievances. That you now have places to come like our channel and Doomcock and other people's channels to come and air your grievances where you won't get a bunch of shit. Super chat from Sean Beckard or Beckard. Is it Beckard? Love your channel, man. Keep up the great work. Love the unification of individuals. Right? That is $5 Canadian from Sean Becker. Thank you so much. I love bringing people together. Yes, I am the Cupid. It's the new eHarmony. Hey, maybe. I don't know. But those are two good. They work. That's a good couple right there. But back to saving our shows. I will continue to do videos as much as I can, but I would recommend not buying anything. Is it a boycott? A personal boycott? Yes. Like, don't waste your money, especially when they're not giving you something you deserve as a fan. And yes, fans there's fan entitlement. Well, if somebody spends hours of their time, which they can't get back, I think you're entitled to a certain amount of respect. Yes, I actually do. So you're not entitled to everything. But yeah, just don't buy it right now. We'll watch it so you don't have to. If it gets better, I'll tell you. I promise. If Star Trek Discovery is good, I will tell you. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, €5 or pounds. Friendly host, friendly chat. It helps so much more than I can say. Thank you all. Oh man, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, right back at you. Okay. And I'm glad we give you any kind of relief at all. And I hope you get better. I really do. Oh man, Movie Finobi, $1.99. Glad to satisfy your rom-com fantasies. We heart you too. Believe me, yours is the only rom-com I'm even slightly interested in. I am not a rom-com guy, except for in the Nerdrotic chat. Yeah. There's pictures of them. It's like really kind of sickeningly cute in a way. I don't have money to buy tickets, so boycott is easy, says CD Horde. See? You work too goddamn hard for your money to get served crap. That restaurant analogy that one YouTuber did was great. Like, why do you keep going back to buy, hamburgers that suck? The Hunky Chunky fuck. Lamac Ajax, what's up? Don't want Cowboy Bebop live action. No, I don't either. I saw that. I mean, Netflix, it depends. It's hit and miss. Sometimes they do great stuff. Sometimes they don't. Well, they don't do anything. They hire production companies to make shows. Production companies make shows and sell that to them. They don't have a Netflix studio where they are actually developing their own stuff. They just buy stuff and say it's a Netflix original. That's going to change, though. That is going to change. Carrie Dalton, what is up? Hail, Carrie Dalton. Based on some of the names I saw, the live action Cowboy Bebop will be trash. I have not seen one single person for this. I don't know a ton about Cowboy Bebop, except it's I sold some action figures at my store and a lot of comics, but I don't know a ton about it. I know it's like Firefly-like a little bit. I know some people said Firefly borrowed a little from Cowboy Bebop. Bryce Douglas says, hi everyone. I have a channel called the Biz Podcast. Is it BIZ? Oh man, it just jumped on me. The damn chat just dumped on me. So Brent, so he has the Biz Podcast where he's currently reviewing the X-Men, and it hurts. The Uncanny X-Men, yeah, for Marvel, reviewing anything. Yeah, please check it out. Some poor guys reading the X-Men comics for you, because current Marvel is bad. Yeah, live action Bebop bad, says Steele Johnson. Little? What's little? What's little? And somebody got timed out. I'm sure I trust my wrenches. So what? We are a nice, friendly chat. I do believe in free speech, but this is also my place of business. So you got to try to be respectful. You can disagree with me. That is totally okay. If you're respectful, you can disagree all damn day. Trolls, I think my thoughts on trolls is they are necessary for the world. I think some trolls are actually really funny. So I'm not anti-troll, but I won't put up with it very long here. I'll let one or two slip by once in a while. But I will tell you right now, I am a free speech advocate, but I am not an absolutist when it comes to free speech. Okay. I think you are free to be an adult and restrain yourself. There are 3 words you cannot say in my chat. I actually have them. They're banned words. So if you say these words, your thing's going to blink out. But I'll tell you what they are. Well, I'll tell you what they rhyme with. Run rhymes with bump, just because I don't want people to talk about politics ever. And I don't want to talk about them. So, I mean, you can, but I'll just ignore it. The other one rhymes with, God, what's the other one? Rhymes with, I don't even want to say what it rhymes with. When somebody gets bigger than the other, it kind of rhymes with that. And then there's one that rhymes with, maggots. Maggots. It kind of rhymes with that. Yeah. So those are the 3 words you can't say. Just a brief disclaimer. We try to keep it, kind of fun around here. I know it's the internet. I understand. And again, it's totally cool to disagree with me. As a matter of fact, I like it. It's good. Builds a rapport. Sometimes you might even be able to change my mind. Who knows? Natalie England, why is Netflix buying live action anime? I have never seen a good one. That is a very good question. And oh man, forgive me, but somebody brought this up in the chat. I think it was Silhouetted Animator who brought it up and saying, Gary, do you think that they're going to start, doing live action anime? And yes, absolutely yes. And all it takes is one hit. So if one of these things takes off, and quite frankly, I think what's leading to this is Castlevania is a huge success for Netflix. Huge success. Even though that's based on a game, it's still anime. They're doing an Altered Carbon anime, which I actually can't wait to see. That's going to be they're going to have an animation department. So yeah, Netflix is developing its own studio, folks. Just so you know, I'm sure a lot of people know that. And Hollywood is scared. Hollywood's scared. But why are they? Because there's good stories, but I've never seen one executed. Anime is supposed to be anime, but Castlevania is 10 out of 10, Mako. Agreed. Totally agreed. I watched it again. and I like it even more. So they probably see the success of comic book films and honestly, I mean, anime. There's some great stories. Great stories. I used to not like it at all, and then I got back in my 20s when I fucking thought I knew everything. And then I realized I didn't know shit. And I started watching anime and reading manga at the comic store. And I started liking it because the storytelling is, oh man, we need an injection of good storytelling like that in current comics and current TV. Yeah. I mean, the Japanese culture is awesome. I want to go there now. And the only problem with going to Japan is I don't like seafood. So my wife says I would starve, but whatever. I didn't starve in England, so. You helped an old lady cross the street once. Is that good enough? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's totally cool. Uh, which led into the Time Lords giving him more regenerations plot. Well, from Time of the Doctor, and they didn't say what number of regenerations, and they alluded that it's not many. And at the end of Twice Upon a Time, Peter Capaldi was talking about like ending. He just wanted to die, which there was nothing that led up to that except for the whole Bill thing. Yeah, season 10 was a total disappointment. If Moffat took a year off, he should have mapped out a one cohesive story over 10 episodes. It shouldn't have been single episodes. I think those are actually bad for Doctor Who. I think everything should be a two-parter. And but there's no way Stephen Moffat was going to be able to write. I'm interested to see how he does now with the gloves off. I think he's doing some Dracula thing. I'll watch it. 42 regenerations. That Filthy Farmer, that would be actually cool. Doctor Who needs to recapture its hitchhikerness. It really does. Nothing personified that better than the Fourth Doctor, in my opinion. Of course, Douglas Adams wrote some of that, and it's famously, it's known that Douglas Adams was a great at telling Doctor Who stories, but probably the worst showrunner, like not disciplined person at all. Death Note. Yes. I didn't see the live action Death Note. Didn't William Dafoe voice that though? I saw the trailer. The trailer looked okay, but Brett Newman will be back. Coffee calls. Oh yeah. Doesn't it though? Cheers all. Hang on. Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix bought Paramount soon. I wouldn't either, Mako. I think that one is just around the corner. It's either Apple or Netflix is going to buy them. Sony is going to come out with an all-female animated Spider-Man movie. I don't know how many people are actually going to watch that. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Spider-Gwen or anybody named with their name in the title. It's just it was supposed to be a silly Billy fun thing that turned into a comic. They actually brought her into canon. Yeah, it's the movie is going to be produced by Amy Pascal of Ghostbusters 2016 and Avi Arad, who, I mean, like, I felt bad for liking Venom, but the success of Venom could really hurt the MCU. Believe it or not, that could really, really hurt the MCU because Sony was on the brink of losing fucking Spider-Man. And now it's all changed. The good thing is, though, as long as Amy Pascal is in charge and Avi Arad, this thing is going to crash and burn at some point. Now, Into the Spider-Verse looks good. Some people don't like the animation. I don't mind it very much. Here's the problem, though. I don't know if Spider-Man's Peter Parker, period. I don't like there being other Spider-Mans. Now, Miles Morales, I always thought if you made him like the Robin and gave Peter a sidekick. That would be something different with Peter. That would be something interesting. Somebody he has to mentor now. That would show growth in his character. But man, all these freaking spider people everywhere is, like I'm a Spider-Man purist. I hate him being in the Avengers. I hate him being. He's never had time to be part of a team. He doesn't have time to be part of a team. He can barely do his superhero stuff and his job because he has to pay rent, and take care of Aunt May. And yeah, they've ruined Spider-Man. And Sony's made it worse. Anime on Netflix aren't anime, says Love Pond. Yeah. Yeah. Full Metal Brotherhood and Death Note are the best anime ever. They made me fall in love with anime, says Mako. I like the Attack on Titan. Bebop is my favorite anime, and I got to check it out. No, but that's going to be next year. That is going to be next year. Miles on Spider-Man PS4 is great. Halam899, yes, Nerdrotic Jr. Loves. Do I like Spider Pig? Peter Porker, the Amazing Spider Ham. I like him. Yes, Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does. Yes, I like the fact that he is in the movie. I like Noir Spider-Man. I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, the game. I think it's great. But this new Spider-Man game, the only thing I don't like about it is that big white spider on his costume. I hate that. I hate looking at it. It doesn't look good. Peter Porker, the Amazing Spider Ham. Yes. I would say that Peter Parker is Miles Morales' mentor. Miles is not a sidekick. But I think Miles should be a sidekick. Miles had a good start. I'm not really a fan of what they've done with him lately, but he had a good start in the Ultimate Universe. But like I said, there's one Spider-Man. If you want to give him a different name, that's fine. But there's one Spider-Man, and it's Peter Parker, and it's Peter Parker under the mask. Miles has different power set. He's, like I said, he was interesting when Bendis wrote him, when Bendis knew how to write, but he doesn't really know how to do that anymore. And the people they've turned, honestly, Marvel has turned Miles into something kind of annoying lately. So hopefully he's good. The movie looks great. So Cajun 451 says Miles sucked from day one. I was okay with him in the Ultimate Universe. I don't like them bringing the Ultimate characters into the 616. In my opinion, the 616 died with Secret Wars. Honestly, with One More Day. Spider-Man died with One More Day. I stuck with it a little while longer, but after One More Day, What's up, Chris Persia? Yeah, Bendis is now trashing Superman. Yep, he is. They really, okay, this ties into Doctor Who, folks. So, and this ties into Star Trek. And it's personified by Bendis writing Superman and why he is the absolute worst person on planet Earth to write Superman. Because, I've met Bendis. I've met Brian Michael Bendis. I've talked to him for long periods of time. So it's at comic conventions, he's talked to, but, a good 15, 10-minute conversation, 3 or 4 times in my life. One of them, we were alone at a Vegas convention. It was empty, and we just sat down and we talked about punk rock music for a little while. Perfectly cool dude. But his worldview is very postmodern, is very nihilist. Not the kind of person you should have writing Superman if they can't step out of that. Now, Alan Moore is, Alan Moore, but he wrote a beautiful Superman story because he's a very talented writer. Bendis is a talented writer, but I don't know if he could step out of himself to write like other people to do to give us a hero. The idea of a hero to somebody like Bendis, he doesn't believe in heroes. He doesn't truly believe in here. It'd be like somebody making a UFO movie who doesn't believe in UFOs. Like, they'll do it as a movie, they'll do their interpretation of what they think they are, but they don't really believe that UFOs exist. And that's the worst person to be making a UFO movie. Somebody who doesn't believe in heroes, doesn't believe heroes exist, feels like they live in an evil empire. And that's not the kind of person who should be writing Superman. The kind of person who should be writing Superman loves Superman, believes in the ideal of a hero, of a good, honest hero. And yes, you can write interesting stories around that if you're a talented writer. Richard Donner made a pretty damn good movie about it. God, I've read a lot of good Superman stories. I have. Dan Jurgens wrote a lot of good Superman stories. Dan Jurgens was writing some good Superman before Bendis came on, by the way. Yeah. When it gets down to it, a writer has to be able to think outside of his or herself. Usually that comes with a lot of experience. Now, there's some great writers who haven't gone or done anything. And those tend to be like fantasy writers and stuff like, George R. R. Martin has done stuff now, but man, he must have spent a ton of time just secluded and alone to come up with all that stuff. And that's brilliant. But yeah, if you just, if you don't have that worldview and you're not it, and you think heroes are just like a thing of the past and stupid and silly and fanciful, then you shouldn't be writing Superman. Just my opinion. One man's opinion. Well, Rhino 4563 $5. Did you see his tweet today to Mags about Connor Kent? Sounds like he's going to do something stupid with one of the Superboys. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard that. I didn't see the tweet. I will go check it out later. Assuming I'm not blocked by him. I'm on some blockchain by a lot of creators. Mags has me blocked, and I've never said a word to Mags Visaggio or Bryan Visaggio before that. But yeah, I don't know. I'll check right now. It's because probably because I follow Ethan Van Sciver that I'm on a blockchain, but I'm not going to unfollow him because of that. If they want to blockchain me. I'm barely on Twitter anyway. So, and Michael, it would probably help to have there's not, no, I'm not blocked. Brian's got me. That's good. I'm going to be a comic shop owner again, and I was before, and there's fewer and fewer of us in the world. I would recommend you don't block me. I won't criticize you too hard. I did get in trouble on Twitter a few years ago. That's why I had to kind of stop. I like to weekly throw like flaming daggers at Diamond Comics. It got me in some trouble. But we're working towards it. Our first reviews are in from Into the Spider-Verse, and they're all from the usual suspects: Collider, The Guardian, IGN, and everyone says it's the greatest thing ever. Yeah, right, Robot. I completely agree. It's so funny, Robot Shlomo, that my son, who is a subscriber to Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark, without me telling him, my son who found SJW Marvel with his friends all on his own, because that stuff has made it to the kids in school, guys. So I'll tell all the Comic Skater guys right when everything is all blowing up, and you made it to the kids at school. That's kind of a big deal. So my son comes up to me and goes, I don't want Into the Spider-Verse to do well. I'm like, why? He's all, well, I saw a video that says that Sony will ruin Spider-Man in the MCU if that's successful. I'm all, really? And he showed me the video, and the video actually made sense. I'm like, really? So, and it ties into what you guys were saying over at Midnight's Edge about Venom being a success too. It's detrimental to the MCU success. Natalie England, what do I think of Grant Morrison's writing on Superman? I actually loved it. I loved All-Star Superman. I loved it. I love Grant Morrison. Well, I love his writing. As a person, no. I would never do business with him. Let's just say that. I hope he does very well in his life, and I love his writings, and I own a lot of love his writing and own a lot of his comic books. The only writer who I just can't stomach anymore, and I actually physically I'm getting rid of his books out of my collection. I'm sorry to say, is Mark Waid, which sucks because I have a lot of had a lot of Mark Waid stuff. You need some like Zemeckis or Spielberg for Superman. It needs to be emotional, hopeful, feel good. Yeah, but I think somebody like Mark Millar, who is known for writing really dark stuff, has been saying for years, I have an awesome Superman story, and like nobody would print it. So he's just going to go off and probably slap another name on it, and we'll see it. I think he could do it. I know. I think Brad Bird should be given another chance live action. I think he would do a very good Superman. I actually think, oh, this would be a yeah. I think James Gunn, prior to controversy, would have done a good Superman movie. Yeah, there's a lot of people who would do a good Superman movie, but you have to love the character. You can't be just kind of into it. I mean, look at Bryan Singer. Bryan Singer is a perfect example of an outsider doing a comic book movie. Uh, and somebody tweeted this at me. I could not believe it, but it's true. Singer forbade comic books on the set of any of his X-Men movies. Ugh. I mean, he came out and said way back in the day that he didn't read comic books and wasn't into them. True life. Adrian Fall says true life balance for a writer is hard. You need to experience good and bad and right. It's not hard. It's just very time consuming. At least you get to be a fun grandpa. Exactly. That's great. That's a great analogy. Um, yeah. For good or for bad, I'm not saying mine was crazier or worse or better. I've had a crazy life. I've had a really crazy life. I had a crazy adolescence. Not your normal, whatever normal is, not your normal adolescence. That's for sure. Been some places I didn't want to be. Been in a lot of situations didn't want to be in, but I brought myself there, and I will save that for the December 7th live stream. Just as Batman stopped being Batman if he gets over his parents' deaths, yes. Yes. Gunn would be the best for Booster Gold or the Flash. Absolutely. Just no Ezra Miller as the Flash. That is he is terrible. KSS's Mark Waid spitting on the ground. Yep. Mark Waid. Mm, 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 mm. Life can definitely be rough. But like, it's best not to let it kick your ass though. You forgive it, you move on, and you say it's nothing personal. Life is just life. Shit can get real. I couldn't watch Batman versus Super. Not after he flew around the world so fast and went back to save Lewis. Can't do it. Save Lois. Can't do it. Dominic Green. I watched it. I was there's like one scene I like where Batman's like kicking everybody's ass in a warehouse. And honestly, that's like the first real Batman scene. And I'm including the Nolan stuff. Now, Nolan did a good job with Batman, but that is nowhere near a definitive Batman. That's like, I think Nolan did a great job of portraying like a real life Batman, like as close as possible to like if Batman was in our world, that's what it would be. I think he did a great job of that, but that's not Batman to me anyway. Batman's like, I know Batman's different to everybody, but my Batman is Denny O'Neil Batman, you know, Neil Adams. Neil Adams art, Denny O'Neil writing. That is the sweet spot of Batman. I also really love Jim Starlin's run from the late 80s, right when the Burton movie came out. That was a good run and proved that Jim Starlin wasn't all about the cosmics. You know, he's I want a campy Superman movie. James, yeah, I want a comic book Superman movie. Like it can be done. You do it in the well, just the same way you approach Guardians of the Galaxy. A message of hope. You know, it shows superheroes saving people. What happened to that? I mean, man, that scene where Superman like lifts the bus, the school bus from the Golden Gate Bridge, that was fucking awesome. When he saves Lois at the last minute, who's got me? Who's got you? That's good shit. His first save. Yo, Jim. Uh, the music for that, God, it just gives me goosebumps thinking about it. God damn, Donner Superman is so fucking good. Uh, I love the Donner cut of Superman 2. I wish they would just go like a legit, like straight up CG. I know this sounds terrible. CG Christopher Reeves and fix those couple scenes to make it look really pretty. They might do that someday. In these hard times, we need Superman more than ever, right, Mako? Yes. So that was uttered three times in the Star Trek special features. In these hard times, we need a show like this. And that's how they were justifying it. They're like, Star Trek's coming back because it's the perfect time. In these dark times, we need to show how life could be better. We're going to push things forward. So we're going to open up a perspective that you've never thought of because you, as the little dumb viewer out there, have never seen this stuff before. Me, an actress in her late 20s, I was so worldly and knowledgeable about things because I pretend for a living and people pay me a lot of money. So therefore it makes me smart. No, it doesn't. Don't assume you know what the fans know, and especially with Star Trek fans. And that's what the funniest thing about this is they had no fucking idea what they were getting into, taking on Star Trek fans. It's like, oh child, I'm sorry, but it's a nice fan base as far as fan bases go. Trekkers and Trekkies are pretty nice. Okay, they're not. Um, Yeah, they're not like Ash versus Evil Dead fans, okay? So, uh, they're a good bunch, but man, you fuck with them, good God. I wish you all the luck in the world. In these dark times we're living in, where we can all talk to each other on the internet and our cell phones can practically, wipe our butts, and I'm sure there's an app for that. And yeah, in these hard times, where I see beer there, where we have 800,000 types of fucking micro brewed beer in these hard times, where we only have gigabit internet connections, and yeah, and people throw away like just pounds of food. Yeah, in these hard times. Have you been to the to have to be Kryptonian to write direct Superman? Don't you know, Gary CD Horde? Exactly. My mistake. My mistake. Carrie Dalton, well, I, for one, can't wait for the Handmaid's Tale sequel that will reflect these modern times. We need another poorly written, tedious novel that will put high school kids to sleep. Oh, yeah, Carrie. Set me up for that one. Yeah, I saw that sequel was announced. Won't be covering that show. No. Yes. Is STD is a show for these dark times? I shudder to think what would consider a show for good times. Andre Merrick. Exactly. I think Star Trek Discovery gives us a unique insight into some of the minds of some of these creators on how they go about things. Another thing I will tell you is there have been people in here saying, and Robot Rob Shlomo, they have been reporting for a long time. Bad Robot is essentially in control of Star Trek Discovery. Doomcock said this. Now, nobody stated this as fact. They've stated as, hey, I think so. And if you have a pair of eyes and you see like every goddamn angle, it looks like somebody's walking uphill on the fucking ship because of the Dutch angles. Alex Kurtzman says it. He says it in the special features. He said we needed, especially when it comes to aesthetics and special effects, he said we needed to be cinematic. So that's why we brought everybody over from the movies. Who's everybody? Bad Robot. Bad Robot is in charge in everything but name. They just don't use the name because I guess they can't or something. So I think everything that is reported has been true because as time goes on, for one, I don't see a ton of denials. I mean, look for the denials. If Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall were not leaving Doctor Who, well, don't you think they would have said so by now? Because that cat is way out of the bag. Fuck, we got 160 plus thousand views on that video, and others have gotten thousands and thousands of views. Shit, from that one video alone, I think we got 1,000 subscribers. Where's the denial? So if I haven't heard people from Star Trek say anything to the contrary for what Midnight's Edge has reported and Doomcock has reported. I've heard comicbook.com say it, which is if and Midnight's Edge talked about this too. There's a Bleeding Cool article by our friend Rich Johnston stating that comicbook.com is owned by CBS. And honestly, I was wondering for the longest time, like, why do they report on so much Star Trek? It's called comicbook.com. Well, now we know. And and that's something I usually do, and I failed to do that with comicbook.com. Is I always go to see who owns the website. Like IGN is owned by a subsidiary that if you go way down the line, I think it's AT&T that owns them, which is Warner Brothers now. And most of these websites, like, oh God, remember Newsarama, Doug? Remember Newsarama? Newsarama used to be one of the first fun news sites, and it was kind of run by View Askew. That got sold off, yeah. That's why people come to YouTubers. Rich Johnson is not my friend. Tiki of Doom. No, he is not our friend. He wrote an article kind of about me. The only time I'd ever got mentioned in Bleeding Cool is when I sold my store, and they got most of the facts wrong, but whatever. Who cares? I'll talk about that December 7th. Boom goes the dynamite. Bad Robot. Yeah, whatever. They've infested. I hated Nemesis, says Natalie England. Yeah, even the stuff I hated prior to Star Trek Discovery, I'm looking at in a whole new light now. Like Enterprise, I'm like way softer on Enterprise. Like I can watch Enterprise now and actually get some enjoyment. And some of most of the Next Generation. I know a lot of people don't like First Contact. I do. I know it's got all kinds of fucking problems, but I like it as a movie. Hate Generations, hate Kurt's death. Good thing I didn't have a YouTube channel back then, because it would just be dedicated to how much I hated Kirk's death. Carrie Dalton as Tiki. I'm ashamed to admit it. I just like Rich when he was a gossiping humor monger on Newsarama. If I'd known what he'd become. Astronaut. Hey, what's Anas Abdeen? What's up? How you doing? Good to see you. I hope everything is going well in your world. We're of course all behind you. That is the great Anas Abdeen, creator of Tardigrades. I cannot wait for that fucking game to come out, by the way. That is one game I'm going to play the hell out of. Just because I want to support you. And it looks really cool. I mean, like, such creativity. So hail Anas, who is taking on CBS. And I'm sorry this sounds crass, Anas, but the stones, man, the balls for doing that. Respect, mad respect. And I hope your family's doing okay. And again, sorry this happened to you, but we'll back you. And I will stick to my promise, a monthly reminder that this lawsuit is happening. It's getting some traction, Anas. I noticed that my video and a couple other videos from our friends have started shooting up a little bit. So I don't know what's behind that, but I'm happy to see there's emergency meetings at CBS. I hope it's involving something that involves you, and I hope you kick their ass. I hope you kick their ass because here's my opinion. This is completely an editorial. I think Anas was robbed blind, and I've had a close friend who has won a copyright lawsuit, and in my opinion, his work was not as close to the thing he beat than Anas's work is to Star Trek Discovery. And when I have permission, I will fully tell that story again. But good luck, Anas. Yes. Hail, Anas Abdin. CBS sucks. And Cato has a link there. Yeah, and Anas has a channel right there. So subscribe. Please subscribe. So nice of you to stop by. That fires me up. Yeah, I liked First Contact. I did. Yeah, Kirk's death was BS, man. Oh, good God. Doug, you were there. You heard me bitching about that. Glad to see you all. Thanks for all the kind wishes. Thank you, Gary, for the bumps and all the kindness. Oh, you're welcome. You're so welcome. And always, always. And if you ever need anything else, man, just ask. And I'm sure any of us, like a Doomcock and Midnight's Edge and Mecca, we're all willing to help you with anything you need. Just let us know. And and stay classy, man. You've been completely classy about this. And well, hell, I'll say it anyway. So my friend who won his case, he believes that the judge liked him, so he made him. And that's you come off as a completely likable person. I think that is going to really be important. I'm sure your attorneys told you that, so I'm stating the obvious. But it really helped my friend, and plus my friend was like you, is a really likable, good person. And you have friends. And even after all this is all done, I can't wait to see the game when it's done. And like I said, we will play it live on the channel, and we'll do whatever it takes to get the word out on it. So please spread the word on that, folks. I love Jerry Goldsmith's Star Trek scores. First Contact's theme is transcendent. Yes. You know what? Is it bad to like Jerry Goldsmith a little more than John Williams? Oh, it's apples and oranges. They're both great. Kirk's death saving the Enterprise B in the beginning was okay. Yes, Nihilist Shadow, I will agree with that. His real death at the end of the movie was dumb. To be fair, though, Kirk always knew his death would be insignificant. Yeah, but it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't. For one, why kill him at all? Well, I know he's not dead. Okay, he's alive in the Nexus somewhere. So once you've entered the Nexus, part of you is always in the Nexus. So technically he's not dead, but why can't Kirk just die old and finally settle down? James Horner, Brent Newman, James Horner is he? James Horner's still alive, right? One of them has passed away. Is it Trevor Jones or James Horner? James Horner is the man. Absolutely. Star Trek 5 is Star Trek 5 is bad, but I love watching it. Singing campfires in Yosemite. Folks, if you've never been to Yosemite, it's fucking beautiful. It's beautiful. It's heaven on earth. Horner was brilliant, even though he often plagiarized himself. He did the 48 Hours score. Come on. It's got the same music from when they were in the oh my God, the Nebula or whatever. What the hell were they in? The Ion Storm in Wrath of Khan. Sauce for the goose, Savick. The odds will be even. Yeah, that's the same goddamn music as in when they're walking around in 48 Hours at the end, when they're in the alleys and it's all foggy. It's the same damn music, and it's great. It'll be my honor seeing you play tardigrades. I did an interview in sci-fi news .de There's some interesting answers if you are interested. English translated. Anas, thank you for the heads up. And yes, I will probably do a video on that. Yeah, absolutely. Spreading the word. Little wink there. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Row, row, row your boat. I know, right? Wow. A little round of applause for Anas Abdeen. I look forward to reading that. Actually, do you think I should read it now? Should I just read it now? I'll find it. Hang on. It's got to be translated. That shouldn't be a problem. Hang on. Sci-Fi News DE. Talk amongst yourselves. And boom, 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 boom. Here it is. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to translate that. That's okay. We will translate that at another time. I will do oh, yes, translate. It's translating. Look at that. I love the modern internet. Okay. Yeah, let's read this, folks. There we go. I have to blow this up. It's way too small. I cannot see anything. I don't want to do that. Okay, here we go, folks. Sci-Fi News.de spoke exclusively with the great Anas Abdeen, developer of the point-and-click adventure Tardigrades, regarding his lawsuit against CBS/Netflix, slash CBS All Access slash CBS subsidiaries slash Alex Kurtzman. No, I can't say that. In court, he now wants to achieve that the dissemination. He now wants to achieve that the dissemination. I don't know if this is going to translate right, so work with me, folks. Of season one of, he now wants to see that the dissemination of season one stops the profits and hands and goes to the hands of compensation is paid. So basically, he wants to get his money that he has deserved, because when the way the law goes, the way I understand it, is if you're making money off of something you stole, you owe the person who created it money. Okay, that's how the law works. I have something tattooed on my hand. Yes, it's from the Boondock Saints, and it says Aquatus. It is justice in Latin. Okay, now of course it's just from the damn movie, but I believe in justice. Justice has been served on me, folks. Believe me, and I still believe in it. In October of 2017, Anas Abdeen, creator of the indie adventure Tardigrades, found on Steam, by the way, made public on his blog post that much of the concept of tardigrades and Star Trek Discovery, as well as characters and story concepts from his video game, have been stolen. His reasoning: tardigrades was publicized in May 2014 with synopsis and screenshots, a trailer for the Steam Greenlit project from 30. From the Oh, you guys do your dates wrong in Europe. August 30th, 2015. That's only 2 weeks after my birthday. Also shows numerous visual similarities with Star Trek Discovery. Further commonalities he provided in August 2018 via Twitter. We reported he is now suing for U.S. copyright law. We spoke with Anas, what led to the complaint, what he wanted to achieve, and what was his motivation. The interview was conducted via Facebook Messenger in English, including emoticons were used and shown. That's awesome. Anas, thank you for taking the time to talk to us about the lawsuit. Please give us some info. Where are you from? And what are you doing? Anas talking about the ongoing lawsuit. Please provide a bit of background about yourself. Da da da. Got it here. I am an Egyptian working full time as an American as an academic researcher. I spent the rest of my day nursing my parents. In my rare free time, I develop a point and click adventure game. How long have you been developing games? Officially since 2011. Currently, you work on the adventure Tardigrades. What's it about? Tardigrades is a game in the style of the 90s point and click adventure games. It is about a civilization that exists on Earth 20,000 years BC. So ancient civilizations. Woo. Yes, right on. The protagonist is a botanist who conducts a research that leads by means of giant tardigrades, without delay, uh, traveling through space to all corners of the universe. Tardigrades was officially announced on May 8th, 2014. Previously, there were already sketches on paper and digitally. The gameplay is very obviously inspired by classics 90s Sierra adventures. My role model is Scott Murphy, one of the creators of Space Quest. The concept of this game is located in space and it is about space travel. I added old Egyptian elements to create a timeline in which there were pyramids. I learned about tardigrades as a small child. I wanted to see them used earlier in my games. An Astronaut 1 and 2. I love that, An Astronaut. But they did not fit in the story. It can be said that I was inspired by science. Awesome. We love that. When I first heard of the claims of CBS had taken much of your game concept, I thought, to be honest, that this was that it was the other way around. How did you first learn about the similarities between your game and Star Trek Discovery? Uh, that's one of the things that really got me down when I heard about the show. Some people find it hard to believe that I wrote the story about tardigrades before Star Trek Discovery. I am so glad that I posted my updates on various websites with dates that cannot be changed later. I did not know anything about the new Star Trek series. I got some news and emails from fans and friends asking if I saw the show because they immediately remembered me when they saw the show. I thought that's because she's about space. That's because she's about space. But then everything became more serious. People began to talk about legal claims. I became curious about the this Zep. I don't know what that and wanted to see what was going on. I love every space sci-fi. So I saw the first two episodes and found it interesting. It was a new series with Star Trek flair. Still exciting. Then I saw a few more episodes until I realized what people are. He said, I think they got the translation here. I saw a few more episodes and I realized what the hell was going on. In October 2017, you posted an article on your developer blog to uncover the similarities and compare your game to Star Trek Discovery. This is not only in visual terms, but it also in story concept. Please tell us about the feedback you got from your community and outsiders when the message reached the bigger news channels, which it still needs to read bigger news channels, folks. This is still largely being unreported because, my belief, it is being suppressed by CBS. All right. Response to that is poster. Okay. The first reaction of the people was shock. The amount of similarities is absurd. People began to make videos that dealt with the subject and pointed their finger at CBS for plagiarizing the game. Things got bigger, and at the time we were taken up by a larger websites dealing with pop culture. Aside from trying to correct that you did not steal from CBS, did you hope CBS would contact you and just talk to you about the situation? I was hoping they would talk to me about the situation and that we would find out how it happened. They talked to me, but all they said was they would stop using the tardigrades in the future and they would not sue me. Assholes. The phone call was very short, and they as they were busy on their vacation. Yeah, vacation from Canon. They were at Cannon Camp, Anas. They were at Cannon Camp. No, I don't. You stay classy in us. I'm not very classy. Um, just to make this clear, they have contacted you and offered you that they will not sue you. Do you have more details? Who ended the call? After rockpapershotgun.com reported the case, I received an email from Vice President and Assistant General Counsel of CBS Law. They wanted to schedule a phone call with me. I told you to. I was told to consult with my lawyers about the phone call. They gave us a short window for the call. The whole call consisted only of their offer to no longer use the tardigrades and not sue me. That's it. So a very short phone call. After the issue was covered on rockpaperscissors.com, I received an email from Vice President and Assistant General Counsel CBS Law. They wanted to arrange a call with me. I told you to contact my lawyers to arrange the call. They gave us a short time to call. The call was simply their offer to stop using the tardigrades, and then they ended the call there. Okay, assholes. Did you approach the call with any request on your part? Was there an oral agreement at the end of the conversation? I had no demands. I just wanted to know how it happened. I did not have. Yeah, sorry. I'm at some point after the phone call, you decided to bring the case to court. How did you make this decision? After the call, there was an email from those to schedule another call, but that never happened. I have given you an immense amount of time to put things right. You do not have that at the time I decided to file a claim. He basically was trying to get a hold of him, and they were blowing him up. They were ghosting him, assholes. Can you say that you have not seen any other can you say that you have not seen any other way to get answers? Yes. Can you say now on I would like to answer complain what is the written down goal of the lawsuit for today? What are your demands of CBS? Quote, I accuse them of plagiarizing my intellectual property. The law is clear. Stop the theft, pay the profits to the original owner, and pay damages. Simple, easy, to the fucking point. Goddamn right. In extreme cases, this could mean that the sale or distribution of much of the first season of Star Trek Discovery would have to be stopped. Not just wide parts, everything. Yes. Is there still room for negotiation or agreement? Currently, I want to make sure my rights are protected. Great answer. What is the current status of the lawsuit? What additional defendants besides CBS do you name in your lawsuit? Quote, CBS Court, broadcasting, all CBS Corp, broadcasting, all access, entertainment, and Netflix. The lawsuit has been filed in New York court and the judge has been assigned. The original claim was CBS Corp, CBS Broadcasting, and Netflix. A lawyer contacted us and asked us to remove CBS Corp and Netflix. Sure. From the list of defendants. You asked us to change the claims, so we did that. I have expanded the list of defendants and added more similarities. You have tried to question some of the similarities mentioned in the complaint. Can you give us more details? In the current phase of the lawsuit, I cannot give further details. Good man. You told me that CBS threatened to sue you. Are you worried this could happen? Any sane adult can read between the lines. Your offer is a threat. No, I am not afraid of you. I know what I created and I know what they did. Stones. That's the Stones I was talking about, folks. Stones. Yeah. To stand against a large corporation in court is not an easy task. How do you deal with it financially and emotionally? For financial part, I would like to give no details, and no. From an emotional side, I have nothing to hide and nothing to be afraid of. I have set this out transparently and clearly since day one. I did not hide any of the details of the game. I did not hide from any people when it came to the similarities between the game and the series. I made no excuses and did not postpone phone calls. I wanted to start the dialogue. They did not want that. Who's afraid? Ha ha! CBS. God damn it. Where are the next steps in the lawsuit and what is the best and worst possibilities for the outcome? You, in quotes, CBS and others, have to comment on the lawsuit in court soon. Ha, that's true. There is no best or worst result here. All that matters to me right now is that justice is done. Damn straight. Sounds like this is still very personal to you. So, do some Star Trek fans who give you negative feedback in forums, what do you want to say to the Star Trek fans who hate you for focusing on the cause they love? I respect your opinion. For me, it's not about personal preferences. It could have been some other series that stole the ideas from your game, but it's been Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, I have seen quite a bit of that too. We don't get a ton of clapback on this channel. And the worst clapback we've gotten is Star Trek Discovery Defenders, which I find odd. I've been harder on other things, to be honest with you. And I find it really strange. And a lot of it is I don't hear a reason argument. I always hear this lawsuit is bullshit. Okay, tell me how it's bullshit. Lay out some facts. The fact that CBS hasn't commented on this once tells me they're taking it seriously. And if they're taking it seriously, that means Anas, it's got a case here, folks. Well, the question is, it comes out to many Trek fans say that it's all about money, right? Well, I already mentioned that it's very hard for a person like me to find some time for game development. I have a full-time job and I care for my dad who has Parkinson's, along with other end health and along with other end stage health problems. In addition, my mother also has health problems. So he's taking care of both of his parents. Even now, during our conversation, I had to get up several times to administer medication to bed, to cover up, to change diapers. One can imagine that it's almost impossible to find some time to paint, to animate, to write a game. Yeah. And that's the real part here. Okay, we got some big corporation that, however they stole it, I'm really curious. There was a time when he wanted to talk to you, CBS, and you probably could have worked something out. And then we find out about Anas on the human level, and being a caretaker for his family, a caregiver, and how incredibly hard that is. I had to go through that with my dad when he had cancer, so I can completely relate to what you're going through. So to me, this makes it like it Anas, of course, is a human being, but it humanizes him, and it just makes it double fucked up. So you can say what the adventure game is a matter of the heart, in which a lot of sweat and tears was put. It's called sweat equity, folks. Was put into which you want to defend by all means. Yes, that's the way it is, and yeah, that's basically it. It's like this is his passion. This is his baby. He's poured everything into this. Any creative can relate to that, and it got stolen, straight up, allegedly. My opinion. How are things going on the tardigrades? Will the game continue to evolve during the lawsuit, and will you change something in the game? Quote, I am still developing the game. I wrote the story long before the show, and I do not intend to change anything. Fuck yeah. Thank you for taking the time to answer all my questions. Gladly. Thanks for the interview. Thanks for sitting through this, folks. Yeah, sorry, listen, you do this live. I'm trying to read a translated thing. So sorry about that. I'll get back to the chat. Oh, my camera got messed over there. What's up, everybody? Thank you again, Anas. You're wonderful. And Yeah, we did. We learned for one. I did not realize your father had Parkinson's, so I'm truly sorry about that. And all the best out to you. Thoughts and prayers, my friend. And I'll be thinking about you and your mom as well. Uh, and yeah, I've been through that, man. And it's for it, that's why escapism is so important, folks. It's actually something worth fighting for. I've been talking about this a lot, but the escapism of creativity or being into a show, being able to turn your fucking brain off for a minute to not think about like your dad having Parkinson's or, or anything, or your dad not being around, just anything. That stuff is important. No, it should not replace reality. We should always deal with our problems and stuff, but it's important. Also, we need to like keep this shit happens all the time in Hollywood and they get away with it. So it's really important that Anas wins this one because it'll send a fucking message that these bully, for lack of a better word, corporations cannot go around doing whatever the fuck they want, especially as there's fewer and fewer of them. They just get bigger and bigger. It's bad enough they can buy so much influence and practically write legislation, and we get fucking shit like Article 13. But yeah, this cannot, like, CBS cannot win this one. It's very important that he wins for a lot of other creators too. This really could set a precedent and protect people down the line. So there it is there. Let's get to the chat. Sorry about it. Thanks, folks, for hanging in there. What's up? Mr. Twisted 72, Blood Eagle CBS, right? Yes, Cato. Yes, there are people who deserve to be out of a job right now. Who is the culprit? I am just as, I don't know if we'll ever find out, but I am really curious how it happened. It's not a matter of if and when. There's no way this could be a coincidence. There's just no fucking way. I would love to see some odds on this being a coincidence. There's no fucking way. My theory is, I took a look at the Star Trek special features. Like I said before, I got a little peek at the writing room, and it looks like they had some very young people in there. The story editor looks like she's 22. Young people sometimes make bad decisions. I did. And maybe they were in a forum somewhere or on Steam, and they saw tardigrades and they're like, oh, well, this game doesn't look like it's gonna make it, fucking jackasses. And we'll just borrow from this. And they were on some sort of deadline or they were gonna get fired or something. I'm just trying to think of a theory, like what could actually happen, what would lead somebody to do this that might be, I mean, that's not innocent, but and then the worst part is maybe somebody deliberately sat down on their computers. I'm gonna look for shit to steal because I need ideas. Which I can believe, considering some of the stuff that we've gotten in Star Trek Discovery. I can totally believe that these people don't have ideas and they're not real writers, because good writers was not their priority when they went out to fill that writing room. It was completely political, which a lot of Hollywood is. Talent doesn't win out very much, folks. It really doesn't. But whatever led to it, it happened. So thanks again, Anas, for coming on. And sorry, and I will probably do a separate video, or I'm sure some other people will too. But yeah, I'll get the word out. I promise. I'll do a separate video. Fuck it. It's got to get out there. I hope all of us do. I hope Egotastic Fun Time, Doomcock, Mecca, Midnight's Edge, Rob, do one on your channel. Get Annie Trekker to do one. I think we should all do a video on this. Screw it. Yeah, we'll look coordinated. Isn't that what the Facebook group said? We were coordinating. I bet CBS is covering their tracks or trying. Jim J. Yeah. They better be doing fucking something. Yeah, and it's really weird that, like, I'm going to bring this up now, and believe me, in about 72 hours, I'm going to start getting clap back on Twitter from the Dreckies, basically. And yeah, bring it on. Bring that shit on. And yeah, come to play, okay? Because like usually you guys don't. It's pretty weak. Um, and it's weird the way people defend this show. Uh, if you like it as a passing fancy and you're not really into Star Trek and it's just a TV show, I totally get that. Fine. But if you're like passionate about this show, um, like I would not lie to you folks, it is a bad show. It is written so bad. The only thing good that were poorly executed were Anas's concepts that they stole. Believe me, it's better in Anas's game. I love the 20,000 BC ancient, like Anas. I'm sure you've heard. I am obsessed with ancient civilizations. I am obsessed with Egypt. I'm obsessed with Egyptian culture. I like it's on my bucket list. I have to go there someday, and I want to see everything, not just Giza. I want to go everywhere. I want to spend like a good month there. And that's something I've been dreaming to do since I was a kid. I wanted to go to Egypt. It just, yeah, it's just simply a terrible show. So that I love that part of it. That part excites me. Thank you for reading it all. Try to stay low because wherever I go, a bunch of trolls start to target whatever channel I appear at. Yeah, isn't that weird? An astronaut cartoon, by the way. Please subscribe to an astronaut cartoon. That's Anas Abdeen's site. And yeah, isn't that weird that they only just show up for your stuff when like I've been ripping Doctor Who and nobody's touched me for that. And yeah, but it's okay, man. I thank you again for coming on, and I can take it if they want to come. If it takes a little bit off of you, come and get me. Anything that takes a little off your plate, that would that's great, man. So again, best to your parents, man. I really that one hits home, man. It really does. I start thinking about my dad. That won't be a fun live stream, so I'll stop. Gary, shall Captain Robert Abel get on this coordinated video blitz something? Yes, I want everybody to make a video. Yes, I would love for everybody to make a video on this. Everybody who's got a channel, make a video on this because nobody's fucking reporting it. Because CBS has put the fear of God in certain websites are owned by CBS. So of course, they're not going to report on it. But the fact that this isn't reported on is complete bullshit. No, I'm not. Well, yes, I'm a little pissed off, Rollocat, at CBS. I've read the Nas Abdeen interview and just saw how they treated him. And yeah, it pissed me off. It really pissed me off. I'm like everybody else. When somebody gets, fucking picked on by listen, my thoughts on bullying are this: you beat a bully by punching him in the mouth, him or her. You fight back. You don't go, oh, I'm being bullied. What Anas is doing is fighting back. He's not taking any shit. That's how you beat a bully. All that bully. I think, listen, I'm glad I had people bully me. It taught me a lot. Taught me how to fight back. So, I mean, everything has its place in society, but this is like big corporation versus just a guy who wants to do a video game on the side while he's taking care of his parents. Yeah, that shit pisses me off. Don't get me then like Truth Apocalypse. They're going to remake Twilight Zone episodes. That should actually be a law. That should actually be an actual law. You should not be able to rewrite any of Rod Serling or Richard Matheson's work ever. Official Dougie J, what's up, man? Childhood friend. Officially, diehard Trek fans will defend any incarnation of Star Trek because its legacy, Gene Roddenberry's alleged vision. They want to be part of history of defending Trek and keeping it alive. But Gene Roddenberry wouldn't steal. Unfortunately, his kid's name is attached to this. Nicholas Meyer's name is attached to it. There are some people who are Brian Fuller's name is attached to this. I mean, there's all kinds of people attached to this that it could bring down. God, I wish I could tell my story. I'll find out and I'll try to tell it Friday. There's somebody who's in a position of power who is a known plagiarist. I mean, I'm sure this comes as a surprise to no one. People, that whole failing upward thing in Hollywood, that is fucking real. That is real. Sounds like Scientology tactics, Mr. Twisted 72. It does, doesn't it? It really does. That's a great point, Mr. Twisted 72. Yeah. So Roller Cat, yeah, I don't stay pissed for very long. I think listen, I was rooting for you and us. In my heart of hearts, I want you to win. It's a tough thing to prove copyright, but the more time goes on, I'm feeling really good about his case, like for real. Uh yeah, Mako doesn't defend it, but no, Doug was just, Doug is a hardcore Star Trek fan. I can say that because I've known Doug since I was what, 8 or 9. Um, Doug knows his Star Trek. Doug is a real Star Trek fan. Doug pretty much taught me how to be a Star Trek fan. Like I was just very casual. Um, Honestly, when I met Doug, I was obsessed with Planet of the Apes. CBS pisses me off on many levels. This one takes the cake. It really does. It's highly suggested not to be punching a lawyer, though. Well, no, I mean, like figuratively punching, not actually punching Apple Crow. Although there's a couple lawyers I'd love to really punch, but no, figuratively, no actual punching. Thank you. Yeah, that's true, Apple Crow. We don't want to be hitting people. We're adults. We don't do that stuff anymore. Yeah, Doug, I think you're right. I think some people are it's just blind loyalty to a brand. And maybe it's some people who actually have their identity wrapped up in that brand. There's many layers that go really weird directions on that. I would just say, yeah, this does threaten Star Trek Discovery. I'm wondering how much it threatens any other shows. I'm wondering how much this has to do with the development of other shows. Um, uh, they're talking about a spin-off. They talked about a spin-off with Section 31. I'm like, really? But now it kind of makes sense. If they want to take some aspects from a show they put a bunch of money in, but they might have to shut down production, it kind of makes sense. I sound like your dad. Those goddamn no. The problem with the new sci-fi is the soy boys. Irish Bowman. There is you know what? There is an absence of like even when listen, Star Trek Discovery made a point to not cast a lot of men. That's that they came out and said it. So that's cool, but like you need red shirts. Like I said, I mean, if we want to talk about actual plot and what's wrong, when Philippa Georgiou and Michael Burnham, that is the captain and the first officer, went to go kidnap a 400-pound Klingon by themselves, they beamed onto the Klingon sarcophagus ship because they could, the one that could cloak, by the way, which was really empty of any real Klingons. And they actually got into hand-to-hand combat. Not like okay, if they're going to capture them with the phaser set to stun or something like that, okay, I can maybe if they snuck up on them. But no, they hand-to-hand combat. Now, granted, one of them did die, but it should have been a death within like 30 seconds. And then that Klingon ended up getting killed. There's no security officers. They didn't take any. Well, they don't have red shirts on Discovery, but like that's just one of the many. I mean, like look at Lorca's whole plot is dumb. Like it's just a dumb show. It's just a dumb show. Depending on how long I am in here, the captain might be posting his video from my hospital room. Why are you in the hospital? What's going on? Are you okay? That sucks. The filthy farmer has to actually go be an adult now. Chat with you later. Ah, got me there. Filthy farmer, you have a great day. Thanks for checking in. Go do your adult stuff. I'm about to go do some adult stuff myself. Nihilist Shadow. I'm a longtime Trek fan. I hate Discovery with every fiber of my being. I will defend Star Trek from Discovery because Discovery is an insult to Trek. Absolutely. Sorry, I have to go. Getting late here. I'll DM you to arrange a call. I'd like to thank you. If you don't mind a call, of course. Yes, please do. I'd love to chat with you. Absolutely. And you're welcome. Really, Anas, thank you for hanging in there. We love you, man. And yeah, let's talk. Let's talk. Not that would be great. That would be great. And like I said, beyond all this, man, I really want to be kept up to date in your game, and I really will publicize the hell out of it as much as I can with what little reach we have. But and I know other YouTubers have promised, and they will keep their promise. And because we got your back, man. We really do. So thank you so much. And absolutely damn me. Harlan Ellison once referred to Battlestar's Glenn Larson as Glenn Larceny due to his reputation of resetting other people's stuff. That's funny. Battlestar Galactica, and this, we've talked about, that is one of the best concepts ever in science fiction. Ever. Like, even before the great remake by Ronald D. Moore came out, I always said, that Battlestar is like this amazing concept that was just not executed great. Honestly, I liked it more than I like the concept of Star Wars. I like the ancient civilization, the Egyptian thing, and then Greek names, and it was awesome. And yeah, so you think maybe Glenn didn't come up with that? Uh, It's nice to have Natalie in here. It's good to see you, Natalie. And thanks for joining up on the Patreon. We appreciate that. Rewriting, got it. Oh, okay, rewriting scripts. Understood. Wasn't True Detective plagiarized? Ooh, High Desert 004. I have not heard that. You mean the first season? I tell you what, we'll see season 3, and they're all written by the same guy. And if it's because season 2 was nothing like season 1, but they said it was supposed to be completely different. But I mean, it's completely different, like completely different. That's interesting. The most copied sci-fi of recent times has been Babylon 5. Star Trek ripped it off consistently. Yeah, yep. Although I like them both. I mean, I haven't watched much of Babylon 5. I've watched like episodes here and there. Didn't make much sense to me, but I liked it because I like JMS. I'm a fan of JMS. Good dude. Normie YouTube channels are big Doctor Who fans. They finally admitted that season 11 was not good. Yeah, Mike Cedar. It's the tide has turned. The tide has turned. And it's what I tried to state in my in a couple of videos is comics has done all this shit before. So what Star Trek and Doctor Who are doing right now in Star Wars, this has all gone down in the comics, and it all ends the fucking same. You do this big change. You change the race or sex of a main character. It gets tons of attention, or you kill a character. You get headlines on on CNN's website, and everybody's interested, and there's this big wow factor, and then the interest just dips after that. Nobody gives a shit. So you sold out a character that you took 50 years to fucking build up for a brief day of possibly trending on Twitter. And then you would get the product. You get the end result, and it's ruined. All for that big splash so some executive can go, I got Doctor Who to trend on Twitter for a day. Does that work on a resume? Because if I was If I had any kind of a brain, I'd ask that person, well, what, but Doctor Who got canceled a year later. Was that you? It's these people want the benefits. These big corporations want the benefits of the franchises without having to do the work. They feel that I bought this franchise for 50 million. Give me my, or 50 million for 500 million or whatever, or 6 billion. Give me my money now. I put a Star Wars label on it. That should be good enough for you. Give me my money. That's how they come at it. Screw that. You got to work for it. We ain't that easy. You got to buy us dinner a couple times. I ain't no slut. I could Ken Jack Ben completely despises. Wow, I've never heard anybody say that. It's full of stupid plot holes and pointless political commentary. Ken Jack Ben says, that's cool. We'll disagree on that one. I fucking love it. I think it's one of the best shows ever made. But we can disagree. It's cool. It was actually lifted from the Mormon Church, says Stephanie Littlepage. And the Mormon Church has some good stories, man. Yeah, I dug it. A lot of stuff was, the original concept of Battlestar Galactica was lifted at the time it came out in the 70s. Zachariah Sitchin was really hot. Chariots of the Gods, the whole ancient civilization things. Land of the Lost had an ancient civilization theme to it. It was a big deal back in the 70s. So that's why it's in a lot of art. All right. And now it's a big deal again. So yeah, that was very influential. It was In Search Of was on the air. People were into the paranormal in the 70s. Bigfoot was huge. Showed up on goddamn Bigfoot had a show. Bigfoot and Wild Boy. Okay, is it time for Wednesday woo woo? Okay. Wednesday woo woo time, folks. Wednesday woo, we're going to talk about giants. This is the craziest thing. I don't even know if Doomcock's in this. Harlan Ellison claimed Terminator was ripped off. He not only claimed High Desert, he won. He won. He's got a credit at the end of that movie. Yeah, his claim was correct. James Cameron ripped it off. Time for the woo-woo. Okay. So one of my favorite subjects of late is kind of the craziest. It is the craziest. And it is based on a place in Peru called Caracas, where elongated skulls have been found by the thousands. There's a bunch of people buried in some sand dune. It's on a private lot that Brian Forrester has access to, where you find these weird elongated skulls. And a lot of these skulls, now some of them could be done from cradle headboarding, where you actually make the skull like that. Some don't have the suture that is needed. Some are missing that. So that means they were born that way. So either they're born that way or human beings wanted to make themselves look that way. The answer is why. Now, of course, aliens is what we hear. I think there's something else. I think there was maybe fast forward on this. There might've been a race of people who kind of look like that a long time ago. There's so much we don't know, because most of what we know is fossil records, which means somebody had to die in a peat bog or in mud to have their bones fossilized. And usually us humans die either out in the open or they got buried in burial mounds. So the giants of America, I'm finding out burial mounds, which is not something I ever was taught about as a kid. That is something I think I've heard the first time I heard burial mound when I was like 15, maybe. We're fucking everywhere, like everywhere. And the settlers just wiped them out. Completely wiped them out. There was a map shown recently of all the burial mounds in America. There was a map study done before they ripped them all down, and it was hundreds of thousands of burial mounds. Burial mounds, a lot of times weren't just big mounds. They had pyramidal structure. They had stairways going up the middle, and they looked like Mesoamerican pyramids. In these burial mounds, they found tons of skeletons and stuff. Now, a lot of this stuff got taken to why am I blanking on it here? Hang on, Smithsonian. So there is this conspiracy theory that the Smithsonian is suppressing all the giant bones that were found in the early 1800s. It became what many believe was just a trend and kind of snake oil salesmen and hoodwinking people, that people were finding giant skeletons all over America. What I mean by giants, not fee fi fo fum 30-foot giants, uh, people who are generally 6'8" to 8 foot to 9 foot in height. So very tall people with red hair, 2 rows of teeth, double rows of teeth, 6 digits. Um, the reports are, again, in the thousands. It's not just a couple things here and there. They have never found, we've never seen a skull with the double rows of teeth that was for giant, but they have found a couple of skulls that belong to very large people. Now, it could have been just very large people. But the red-headed giants thing actually goes down to South America. Now, I watched a video last night. Now, I don't know if I like completely believe this. I'm like, I'll listen to it. It sounds interesting. Could there have been a race of people that got wiped off the earth, 10, 12,000 years ago that we've never seen before? Yeah, sure. I totally believe that. Were they super tall? Maybe, but they weren't just tall, like skinny, like a basketball player. They were well proportioned all the way up. So they're big. There are some pictures. There's tons of fakes on the internet. There's the most fake shit there is. It's about giants. Do I think there's any living today? No, I don't. Do I think maybe a larger stature person exists? Maybe. Hugh Newman is big on this, and I dig Hugh Newman. He's on Ancient Aliens. And of course that New Englander guy, I'm forgetting his name now. I'm gonna look up his name. Giants TV show. Jim Vieira. Yeah, Jim Vieira, who's hilarious. He's really into this too. This is something I'm actually working on for the Exozone because the conspiracy theory I heard about the Smithsonian um, suppressing or not like letting people have access to any bones from burial mounds. One of them makes sense. Like a lot of it, they had to return these bones to the Native Americans to their so they can get a proper burial because it was disturbed after we completely fucked it up. They get to go rebury the bones with some respect and stuff. Also, it really fucks with the history of America in a lot of weird ways. So I will be getting into that. And yeah, but the Giants, it is the most common thing is the Giants had red hair. Now, the people found in Caracas down in South America have red hair, had red hair, which is weird. So we're, as more time goes on, we're finding out that we are just monkeys who know how to do math. There was something on IO9 today. I know it's IO9, but it was a science thing that I kind of dug. And it was about every time we get, God, I'm so over Star Wars. I just don't care. Live action Cowboy Bebop. Oh, and Netflix is doing a Willy Wonka animated universe, by the way. Well, they were mapping space basically, and they found that they might be completely wrong. Their math might that's cool. Okay, here's a unicorn, by the way. Extinct Siberian unicorns. It's really a rhino, folks. These used to exist, folks. These things were like they're as big as a fucking bus. A lot of megafauna, a lot of animals like this died overnight 12,000 years ago. They find their carcasses in caves and oh God, I'm so like, how many times can you remake Star Wars? I mean, just stop. God damn it. Was funny. I was listening to the High Council last night, and they were talking about something. I hate to say we're ahead on the game on this. That Dennis and I were talking about 2 years ago. That Disney's whole plan, and I will get the audio for this, is to remake. Oh, why am I looking at them? I don't want to look at them. Their whole plan is to remake the original trilogy. Okay, they want to remake the original trilogy. They're going to remake the original trilogy. Dennis and I said that 2 years ago. I actually gave them a plan to remake it. That would be good if you based it on the Star Wars radio show and you made it a TV series. And you don't try to just remake the original series. You try to expand on it, make it something different. I think it's absolutely sacrilege. I don't think they should do it. It's the worst fucking idea ever. But it's funny that the Hal Council was talking about it last night. It's like, oh, me and Dennis have done like 3 podcasts on it that nobody listened to. NASA's InSight lander sends back stunning image of Martian horizon. That's cool. I can't, the picture doesn't get bigger. You know, they tint those. That's not the actual color. They tint those things red. Oh, I can't. So basically they, ooh, what's that? My first picture on Mars. My lens isn't off yet, but just wanted to show you a first look at my new home. There you go. Instagrammy. Oh, I wasn't sharing that. I want to share that. Hang on. Little Mars action here, folks. Some real stuff. I hope they dig down and find a pyramid. I really do. I really, really do. Okay. Yeah. So they were mapping some part of the universe, and then they found out that they kind of fucked up. So now they're rethinking shit. And they're like, oh, maybe we don't really have this whole universe thing figured out. No, you don't. No, you don't. All right, kids. I'm gonna get going. I got a lot of stuff to do. Looks like some people are starting to dip out. Usually after about 3 hours, you do, so I don't blame you, especially with the woo-woo stuff. I'm hoping this is the right Patreon video that I fixed everything. I've added some people. If I missed you, please let me know. Just give me a DM. Nigel Broad Savage, you're back on there. I don't know what happened. I don't know why you were off in the first place, to be honest with you. But these are our patrons. I'm going to continue talking to you guys. So while the video eventually gets started, which is right now. Yeah. I think oh, hey, Tiki of Doom was totally fun. I hope you guys had a good time. Yeah. Welcome to all the new subscribers. It's been insane. My hope was to hit like 8,000. Okay, for my first at the beginning of the year, our hope was to hit 5,000 subs at the end of the year. I'd have been totally happy. Well, we did that back in June. Then we hit 8, which was our new goal by the end of the year. We just passed 8, flew past 8. And then I was like, well, I hope we hit 10 by, March or something like that. We're doing pretty good. So thanks everybody. Thank you for jumping on board. And I hope, we keep you here. I hope you're happy with the content. Holy shit. We're at 9528, folks. Damn. Thank you everybody. Yeah. A year ago at this time, we had about 800 subscribers and about 50,000 total page views. Right now we're at 9,528 subscribers with 1,362,010 total page views. That's pretty cool. Now, hey, of course, it's not as big as some other channels, but I'm happy as can be. For one, I can read all the damn chat. And honestly, I think we've done a good job here building an actual interactive show. I feel like I know some of you, and I love the new people in here. I consider you friends. This is my one. I mean, aside from hanging out with my family, I've done a lot of things. I have written and drawn comic books. I've owned a comic book store. I've been in a band, been in a few bands. I've done some creative art. I've edited television. This is my favorite thing to do. Like, this is the best. Absolute best. Now, this stuff you're seeing right here is some of the stuff you'll get from our Patreon if you join our Patreon. The first one was a $5 level. This one's a $15 level. You can join for as little as $1 and you get free content. And that is going to end at the end of the year, though. At the end of the year, we're going to be changing the tiers because I actually need to keep some, because some of those the boxes you get is like shit off my wall. So I need to keep some of that. Yeah, if you join up before the end of the year, the $15 level, you get the what's in the box. The Exozone this Saturday, time to be announced. I can announce that on the community page. I hope you all Have a great day. Please go to nerdrotic.com and check out our live schedule there. And of course, I probably missed another damn super chat because I'm an idiot. Oh God, yes. Brent Newman says, time to hail the wrenches for £2. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry. That was at 11:49. God, that was like 30 minutes ago. I suck. Rhino 5463 for $5. Thank you for the super chat. Movie Finobi for $1.99. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey for €5 or pounds, not sure which. Sean Beckard for $5 Canadian. Movie Finobi for $1.99. Nicholas Glenn for $1.99. And again, Nicholas Glenn for $1.99. And Brent Newman for £2 or euros, I'm not sure which. And thank you to all the wrenches. Mako, Mary Ashmead. Who else was? Cato Roan, Penn Farm Girl. I know she was around here somewhere. And Johnny Pappas and Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch and Movie Finobi. Thank you for being great wrenches as usual. And let's thank the chat. Brent Newman, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, the DJ D Show. What's up, man? Oh, late super chat. Fight Netflix and super. Yeah, that's right. Fight Netflix and Cowboy Bebop. Yes. Excuse me. Hang on. All right, I got to finish this out for I got to do a video after this. Howard Bandy, Mary Ashmead, Brent Newman, Mr. Twisted 72, Matt Guy, Kronos Cannon, Truth Apocalypse, Chris Persia, Lamac Ajax, Anas Abdeen, thank you for coming in again, my friend. Dark Angel Ire, Raptor One, Matt Guy, Tepo Tupu. Do you know that is Tasmanian taking a good dump in an important part of the culture? They wish Christmas by Eat Well, Shit Hard. I did not know that. Love the woo-woo, says Mr. Twisted 72. Brian Davis, thanks for coming in. Robot Robe Shlomo, if you're out there, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Ken Jack Ben. Tiki of Doom, Alexander Edward. Natalie England, our new patron. Thank you so much. Andre Merrick, Felipe Diaz, Malwinius, Sereno, Ulfram from York. How are you? Let's go. Do I have anybody else? Mary Ashman, thank you again. I hope you're feeling better. Jalapeno chorizo. Paracas. Did I say Caracas? It's Paracas. I'm sorry. You're right. I said Caracas. That's dumb. It's Paracas. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you, jalapeno chorizo. That is hilarious. Jexter, Mark Lazert, what's up? And Hippie Crusher. Yeah, I like that name. Hippie Crusher. I'm a hippie crusher. Rolo Cat. High Desert 004. High Desert 004. Man, there was a lot of freaking people in the chat today. Holy crap. All right, and I think that's it. And again, a Nostronaut cartoon. Please check out his channel. I read the full interview, and it was fun. Thank you again, General Brick. My screenwriting teacher who wrote stuff for sci-fi said I had to sue several people for copyright infringement. Thank you for that chat. Yeah, I bet he did. All right. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Our next stream will be Friday night for Friday Night Tights at 7 p.m. Pacific time with Susan Layton of 1428elm.com and my friend Dennis Pathalkas at DeForce on Twitter. Again, go to nerdrotic.com. There will be a Star Trek video and a Doctor Who video coming out in the next 48 hours. We are also covering Titans. That is Friday, and I have no idea what's happening Thursday. There's a Patreon Nooner tomorrow, and and the Exozone on Saturday. So that is it. Everybody have a great day. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Be nice.